Hello, welcome to another episode of the G.I. Joe New News Classified Review. I am David Allen. We are here to discuss Croc Master. Yeah, he's a really cool one. One of the first deluxe figures that they did. I think Snake Eyes with Timber was the first deluxe. This is the second deluxe, and this is going to be a really fun one. I've always had a soft spot for Croc Master. I think he's a cool character. So we're going to go into all the details with him. Let's see if we can figure out what his designations are and do all that. But first, we're going to go into his origin a little bit with 3 3/4 Joe, creating G.I. Joe by Dan Clasified. Again, this is volume 4. So again, you can get those. There's only a handful of sets left through Dan's Facebook group, Pre-Pro, and so on. Dan Clasified Jr. If you want to get a set of these, it's 15 volumes. Very extensive. Not 100% complete with everything, but very, very, very extensive. I would say 99%, but there are some omissions. So I've talked to him about maybe doing some stuff in the future. And so just give me one moment. I want to do one thing real quick, and I will be right back. I am back. Forgot to turn that light on. Sorry. So we are here this morning, and we are here talking about Croc Master. So let's get into Croc Master. So there's a double-page spread of Croc Master in Dan's book, and so there you go. And let's see. You can see he's got his crocodiles. Let's see what they have to say about him. So alternate names: Crawl, year release 1987, designed by Ron Rudat and Mark Pennington. So we're finally getting into the transition from Ron Rudat to Mark Pennington. He was the next designer on G.I. Joe from 87 to 89. He only did it for 3 years. Let's see what they have to say here. Cobra Croc Master, originally conceptualized by Ron Rudat, Mark was responsible for adding elements such as the crocodile and whip Croc Master used to tame his crocodiles. When designing the belt, Mark shared that the eye of the crocodile influenced him, and he thought it would be a cool, unique characteristic that made the character more interesting on the belt. So you can see that crocodile belt there, and I think he does have it on the toy as well, and he looks really cool there with it. Croc Master is an interesting character. That's the year they really get into a bunch of unique, different characters. Like I said the other day, we ended up with Croc Master, Raptor, Big Boa, and Crystal Ball all the same year. And so that was a really cool year. So let's get into his original vintage package. So there's his original vintage package, Croc Master. No, sorry. Like that. There, get a bit better shot of that. And he does come with a crocodile and a handler stick, I think. So that is from Collecting the Art of G.I. Joe, Carson Metaxas 3D Joes. That's volume 3, 1986 through 1987. So then we get into his first appearance. Now, he didn't appear in the regular G.I. Joe. He had to have a special appearance. And this story has a lot of really cool, fun characters in it. And it's yearbook number 4. It was the last yearbook that G.I. Joe ever released. It came out in around 87 or so, 88 maybe. Um, and it's a really cool, fun story with Croc Master. You can see him on the cover, and you can see my favorite version of Cobra Commander on the cover as well, Armor Coco, and the October Guard. So you can see this is going to have a lot of fun stuff in it. But there you go, Real American Hero, yearbook number 4. Then we get into the vintage figure. Now, my vintage figure, I think, is complete this time. So here we go. We have the vintage figure, Croc Master, and he's in pretty good shape, I would say. Solid, very tight, and you can see that eyeball on there and all those scales, Croc scales, and cool mask and everything. He looks like he's a Friday the 13th type character out of the swamp, ready to eat you up, right? And this is a lot sooner than Bane from Batman. So then he has this chain, choker chain thing that he uses on the gator. Yeah, put it on there, and then he holds him, holds the gator, and then you have his gator. Let's see, we put that in there, and voila, we have Croc Master with his gator. Now, I don't recall if the gator had a name back in the day. Uh, the modern gator does have a name, but I don't recall if this gator had a name or not. But can't really get him to stand up on this surface that I have here. Oh, there you go. Oh, he took a tumble. There you go, Croc Master. All right, so I'll just lay you over there, and we'll put you aside right there. And then we will get into Clasified version of Croc Master. So let's see. Let's look at these designations, see if we can figure out what they are. Because some of these designations are not on here, but most of them are. So we'll see what we can find. So we have I'm guessing that's security. Yep, security. And then we have melee weapons security. Melee weapons security, and we have, I think, animal handling, I believe, is the other one. And then there's animal handling. So we got melee security, animal handling, and I'm guessing just weightlifting, because he's got a weight there, but I can't find it on the designations. So there you go. So those are the designations for Croc Master. So then we have he's number 38 in the listings, so we're moving right along. There's some beautiful painted Crocmaster artwork that kind of goes around the edge there. Really, really creepy looking. Represents him and his gators really well. Um, it says Crocmaster and Fiona, so that's what I was talking about with his crocodile has a name in this one, and it's Fiona. So we're gonna open this up. Let's see, opens from the top. Pull him out of there. See what cool stuff he comes with. There he is. Again, these are the first time we're opening all these figures, and so again, he has got the interior red package on that, and then we have the poster, a much larger version of the poster, and a like a lengthwise version of the poster. Um, oh no, it doesn't want to go in there. It's a lengthwise version of the poster on the back, and it's the Snake Eyes Storm Shadow battle with the Snake Eyes in the Arashkai Temple doing the meditation. And Crocmaster is, where is he? Oh yeah, there's Crocmaster right next to Snake Eyes there. So they added him. I'm trying to see if there's any sneak peeks of anything. There's a lot of vehicles on here that we have yet to get. But everything else we've got on here that's on here already. So that's it for that. So we're going to put that package aside for now. And we're going to pull out Crocmaster. Now he is a hefty figure. Now this is a very big buck on him. Look at this guy. Look at how creepy he looks. He definitely has some vibes of Bane from Batman. And like I said before, he was created before Bane. So I'm guessing they used a lot of the elements of Crocmaster to create Bane. I won't swear to it, but I know Chuck Dixon was a G.I. Joe, Larry Hama fan back in the day, and he's the one that created Crocmaster. I bet he took some elements of this from that to that. So he's got this cool gas mask, swamp mask that's got some silver and red deco. You can see those eyes, those menacing red eyes there. Man, does he look creepy. And then he's got the tube that goes around the back to the air filter on there. He's got the insignia Cobra sigil on his chest there. He's got the familiar gator leather chest armor, and he's got the secondary a ab crunch and waist articulation. He's got the eyeball for the belt, and that's a secondary, I think, or maybe no, that's part of the waist, so it's not a secondary. But he does have a secondary sheath on his thigh here and his ankle on the bottom here. So he's got two different places to put items. He's got all the normal articulation, the butterfly shoulder articulation. He's got the calf muscle there. He's got the double pinned elbows. He's got the wrist, and he's got the very rare wrist articulation there as well. So now we're up to 4 figures that have that articulation. There's not a lot of them that have it. So one arm has a silver like bracelet type of thing on there, and one has the leather gator bracelet there. So both of those are twisting there. He's got black gloves, black pants, green boots. He's got the normal calf muscle. He's got the double pinned knees there, double pinned knees. He's got the ankle and the foot rocker articulation. So he's got all the normal articulation with the additional wrist one that only a handful of people have. So he looks really, really cool. Um, Other than the gator like layering on the back and the front and stuff like that on his wrist, he doesn't have too much layering that much. He's definitely a large character, and he should be because he's handling gators, right, from the swamp. So he should be a little bit heftier. So that's a large buck. Hey, Lone Dragon, thanks for joining us this morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining us for our discussion of Croc Master. I am Croc Master. All right, let's get into some of this cool stuff. So I'm going to get into his crocodile first because that thing is bigger than Croc Master himself. In fact, it is almost twice the size of Croc Master, I would say. So it looks like he's got ties. So I got to undo these ties first to get him undone. And I did not bring a knife with me to undo these ties. So that's going to be tricky. All right, I got that one off. Got that one off. Excuse all the racket on the package. All right, so let's put this over here for now. And here's Fiona. And Fiona has a lot of articulation. I was just trying to see if his jaw opened. Oh, and it does. Look at that. Rawr! It opens. And his head has multiple articulation points. It turns like that. It has like a chest ab articulation. It's got a back tail articulation. And it's kind of rubbery, so you can maneuver it and do different things. All the feet maneuver as well. I have to get these little guys off. So his hands, first his feet go up and down, and his hands adjust as well, and then his back feet go up and down, and his back feet adjust as well. So there's 4 points of articulation in the feet alone, and so let's look at it a little bit. There's a lot of real cool detail on the chest there. They've got in the jaw, they got the that part that's in between the jaw, like that gum. He's got cool teeth. He's got a lot of greeble in the mouth and on the sides. Let's see. The eyes really don't have a lot of depth. You can't barely see anything in the eyes. But this is an incredible, awesome looking creature. I love the animal companions that they give these guys. They are so awesome. So we're going to put Fiona aside for the moment. We're going to put him over there next to Croc Master. I'm going to try and get some of these accessories out of here. So like the vintage one, we have the choker that Croc Master uses. So I'm going to try and put that on one of his hands and get that in there so we can get that on Fiona. I hope we can do it without too much fuss. All right. So I have that on there. Have the choker on there. So then we're going to try to get that. We're going to close his big jaw. I'm going to lift his head up a little bit. We're going to do that. Maybe we'll have a little bit better luck with the Clasified than we did with the vintage. So there you go. Put his feet down a little bit. There you go. There's Croc Master with Fiona. He's a little bit farther back from the camera. So let's move him up a little bit. Can you see that? Maybe we'll move them over there. Maybe we can put him over here and you can get a better view. There. How about that? Now that's better, right? So then we have some additional gators, some baby gators. And I do believe on one of the Pulse things videos that Emily did name these baby gators. I don't recall what she named them, but there's two baby gators. There's one little baby gator, and this one's an albino baby gator because he's white. So there you go. You got your two baby gators. And so then next we have a whip. So this is to, I guess, combat the Joes, the whip, or to maybe keep the keep Fiona at bay or what have you. I'm going to see if I can fit this in there without knocking this over. I can't really get it in there without taking him off there. So let's try that. Let's see if we can get that, because I really think it'd be fun to have that whip on there. So you gotta like manipulate the fingers a little bit, because these hands are strictly in place, and we want to make sure we don't break it or anything. All right. So now we have the whip. We have there you go. Now we have his whip on there, and that's cool. He's got a little bit of a leather on there, and it's got some deco, some black and green deco on it. And then we have a pistol, looks like an old revolver kind of pistol. So let's see, where are we going to put that? We're going to put that in his waist hip sheath right there. Let's move him back over here so I can get a better look at that. Oh, there it goes, right there. There, it's in there. There, so he's got his gun in his holster on his leg, his hip holster. Hey, Crusty Old Crow, thanks for joining us this morning. Appreciate it. And then he's got one more weapon, and it is looks like an ice hook. So this is like right out of the Chainsaw Massacre movies, where they had that ice hook, stuff like that. And I don't think he has room for that. I'm not sure where he would put that. I'll have to look around on him and see. But he has one more item. He has a little bit of a knife, and he has a sheath on his ankle. This knife, and it's a silver knife with a bit of green deco on there. You can see that green leathery deco. Let's see if I can get that in there. Maybe not. All right, we got the knife in there in his ankle. The only part right now we have is his ice hook. And it'd be nice if there was some place where you could hook this, like on his side or something like that, for the time being. I guess if he wasn't holding the gator, he could probably hold the ice hook and the whip at the same time. But he doesn't have that at the moment. So let's see. I think that's all of his accessories. I'm going to put that down there. So this is a really, really cool figure. I've got to say, I think they did a really good job. You can tell that the upscaling of these figures in the last like 10 figures or so has really stepped up the classifying designation of these figures. They have really, really added a lot of really cool stuff to these. Um, and they're only getting started. The detail, and you can see the budgeting and stuff got better as it went along, and they got a lot more funding and stuff for these because they were doing so well. But the thing about Crocmaster, I saw a lot of Crocmasters in the store after the fact, so I'm not sure what the sell through for him was. Even though I think he's an awesome figure, I haven't really had too many issues with most of these figures that we've done thus far, but he's really, really cool. I think they did a really good job with this one. Whenever they do the pet companions, they do a really, really good job. Um, but he's, like I said, he's one of those creepy new villains that they did in that year, and that year was a really good year. There was a lot of cool characters. Uh, Armor Coco came out that year. We got Crazy Legs. We got Raptor, Crystal Ball, Boa. We got some really cool good guys that year. Psych Out, a whole bunch of good guys that came out with that batch. Gung Ho version 2 with his Marine. So that was a really good year. I enjoyed that year. That was about my last year 100% focused on G.I. Joe. The years later, I was waning a little bit. I would check it out. I would get figures. I would get a couple vehicles and stuff like that. But I was waning a little each year. But this is the last focused 100% big year that I was involved. And that would have been like 87. So from about 88 to like 92, I was still getting it, and I was still, interested, but I wasn't as interested. This was my last really big year. And you can tell because of all the cool stuff that came out this year. A lot of my favorites, like Storm Shadow version 2 is this year. Um, uh, Coco version 3 is this year. Raptor is this year. A lot of some of my favorite characters came out this year. Um, I don't think Rock and Roll version 2 was this year. It might have been the following year. And then we also have Stalker version 2. I don't remember if it was this year or the following year. But that's when they started doing a lot of duplicates of characters, was this year. But Crocmaster is a really cool guy. He's Cobra's Croc handler and security for Cobra Island, and you'll see in his first appearance in the comics. He never got an appearance in Sunbow. There was plans to bring G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, the animated series back, the Sunbow animated series, after the movie, which was 87, the movie. And then they were going to have plans to do the Coil. And then they were going to have a bunch of cool characters like Crocmaster, Raptor, Crystal Ball, Big Boa, all like rounded up by the commanders, the Crimson Twin commanders, who were going to take over Cobra, and it was going to turn into the Coil. And they touched on the Coil in the last episode of the ongoing animated series before they did the movie. So there were plans to do the Coil, and they never got to it. Talking with Buzz Dixon and talking with Charles Michael Hill, I did a video, and you can check it out on my channel, where we talk about the Coil and the progression and the history and the lineage of the Coil. And that's where we would have got some of these characters from 87 that never made it into the movie. And I would have loved to have seen what they could have did with some of these characters. Crocmaster is one of those characters I would love to have seen something really cool. Raptor as well, an accountant that flies around with birds and stuff like that. They they brought Cobra Commander back with Armor Coco in Operation Dragonfire. I think that was 89. So we did get him, and we got some of the later figures like the 89, 90, 91 characters. But we missed out on a lot of 87. We missed out on a lot of 88 and some of 89. So there's a little bit of history on Sunbow, on what could have been for Croc Master and a lot of these characters. But we missed out. So I think overall, this is a great figure. I think they nailed this character. It's very vintage inspired, very vintage inspired. You can tell it's very vintage inspired. There's a few little elements that they added, weapons, and added a little bit more detail and stuff like that. But it's very, very vintage inspired. And I think they did a great job overall. So our next one is going to be a very interesting one. We're going to get into some characters that have never been shown off in Dan Klingensmith's series because they are foreign versions of characters. And so there's a cool character. I don't even have a figure of this character because it's so expensive to get this particular character that we're going to do next. I'm going to leave that as a guessing point for you guys to figure out who our next review is going to be. Obviously, you know it's 39 because we just did 38. So, but it's going to be an interesting one because I don't have a lot of reference for this character. But it's going to be a fun one to do. And it's going to be out of order from its original version. So that gives you a clue as to what this is going to be. And we're going into exclusive territory again. And that's where we get it a little bit tricky with the exclusives. So that's going to be fun. So look forward to that on our next video with those clues. Thank you, everybody in the chat that joined us this morning. I know it was a little bit early, but I wanted to get Crocmaster early. He's an early riser, Crocmaster. He wants to get out there and get his gators fed and find some intruders to feed to him. And so I think Fiona and Crocmaster were excellent. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know now. I'm going to check on the HasLab, see what we are doing there. I believe it is 8-4 something. So we are, let's see, HasLab territory. Let's see. So it is. Drum roll. We are at 8440. So we're about halfway to 9,000. So I was hoping we were going to get to 10,000 by this weekend and then try to get to 12,000 by Monday or Tuesday. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So that's sad. We'll see what happens. So there you go. That's our HasLab update. Today is the let's see, 10th So we still have 11, 12, 13, 14, 5 more days. 5 more days. Uh, let's see. It was 8475 last time I checked. Lost 35 backers. Yeah, it seems to be doing that the entire campaign. I've noticed where people thought it was in the 760s, it would go down to the 740s, and then it would get into the 760s, and we thought it was in the 780s, and it would go down to the 760s. So it's been doing that like the whole campaign, up and down. And I don't know what that is, what the situation is, Lone Dragon. But there's definitely been an up and down kind of thing, because I've noticed it myself, and I wasn't sure if anybody else had noticed it. But we'll see. I hope we get all these tiers funded. You know how I am with the HasLab. What I feel. I've talked at length about it, but we'll see. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be sad if we can't get all those tiers locked. But I won't say no until the last hour on midnight on the 14th. And once that hits, then I will be ecstatic. So we still got, like I said, 5 days left. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed, both fingers crossed, that we can get all these tiers. I really want all the tiers. So, well, I hope you guys enjoyed my Crocmaster review. We got a lot of exciting ones coming up, and I already gave you my clues for the next one. So I guess. Oh, all right, Lone Dragon, you got a comment? Um, let's see. I bought it. I bought it. Might have been a group of disgruntled people trying to move the numbers up and down every day to I don't know, maybe people that are unhappy with it, maybe they're jerking people around, jerking Hasbro around, trying to stress Hasbro out and let them be on the edge of their seat leading up to all this. I think the fact that they've got it funded is the main thing. I don't know if by Thursday, if a lot of people quit it, will we still get it or will we still not? Even with um, the base offering, will we get it? I'm not sure how that sort of thing works. I saw that happened with the Rancor. A lot of people, like on the last day, um, divested of it, and it didn't fund, and it was like, I don't know, like 200 or 300 away from funding, and it didn't fund. That was 5 years ago. Remember, my memory is a little bit fuzzy on that, so I don't know. But we'll just have to, like I said, keep the faith and stick in there with this whole thing, and hopefully it gets to all the tiers. I'm praying that it does, because like I've said before, I don't feel the value is there for the base offering for 325. But that's just me. You know, you might think the value's there. You might feel that the value's there, and you might want to get it. Whoever out there is um, supporting this, but I want to get all those tiers for that. That's just me. Cold Slither was supposed to be here yesterday, disappointed from tracking in Ohio 2.5 days ago. Yeah, tracking's a little weird sometimes. I was expecting something else that I thought was going to come, and I just found out that it's not coming till September 8th. I thought I was going to have it by Friday, and I checked it, something that I ordered on Amazon. It said that it was not coming till September 8th. So I got another month to wait for this particular thing. But something fun, since we were talking about Crocmaster in 1987, my crystal balls, I did get notification that my crystal balls have shipped. So when those come in, I look forward to that because they are really cool. That new version of Crystal Ball, the Classified, really did a great job. And then the Ghost Vipers that go with it, man, they look really good, really good. I hope you were able to get those. So I got a lot of stuff on the way. I've got my shipping notification for my Vega Street Fighter. I got my shipping notification for my Skyfire, Salila, and Jarek O-Ring Void Rivals crossover, and my Crystal Ball. But they sent another package the next day that is in New York and scheduled to be here tomorrow. Yeah, it's just things come from different distribution centers. Like my crystal balls, that's coming from Walmart. So I don't know what Walmart's getting it. So it's coming from Walmart. And then obviously Vega's coming from Jada, and the Skyfire's coming from Hasbro. And there are different distribution centers that they send the Hasbro stuff from Hasbro Pulse. Sometimes I get it from Georgia. Sometimes I get it from New York. Sometimes I get it from Indiana. So there are different distribution centers. I don't know how that all works. I just know that they do have just different distribution centers that they ship stuff from. Um, I didn't really look at the package for that, but I will do I'll be doing a review of that when I get it because that's not a classified. So I will do a review of that set when I get it on here, and we'll see what that package looks like. I may agree with you, I may not. I don't know, but I did not notice it that much. Um, oh, Romeoville, Illinois. Both of them were okay. So well, that's interesting. Mines are from some other place, but yeah, it's shipping is a mixed bag when it comes to stuff. Sometimes I get something, I'll order it from Amazon, it'll come the next day. Some days it comes like 2 weeks later. Sometimes, like I ordered some bags and boards for my comics that I got a bunch of stuff on vacation, and it says it's not coming till the end of the month. I ordered two, and then my partner ordered some, and it came like the next day. So it's like you order from different people, and it comes at different points. So it's weird how this stuff works. We have a distribution center of Amazon right in my hometown here, where I live, and sometimes I get stuff quick, sometimes I don't. It's just the way it is. Shipping is like a guess sometimes on what they'll do with it and how it'll come and everything. Sometimes it'll come in good condition, sometimes it won't. One of my claws came a little dinged up, and I wasn't too happy. But eventually, I'm going to open one of those claws up, so it's not that big a deal, I guess. But so again, I appreciate everybody in the chat, and thanks for chit chatting and talking. And we're gonna get this moving, and I look forward to seeing you guys probably tomorrow for my next surprise review. All right, so take care, and because this is a Cobra review, hail Cobra!